right, so what we're doing is we are going to be demoing how to transfer a laser print onto this printing block. We'll all get a printing block. Obviously, there's a lot of extra paper around here. Some of them have lines. Some of them are already cut out nice and neat. But the idea is you can tell where that 6x6 is. What we need to do, though, is cut it out larger than that 6x6. And I'll explain very quickly. We are going to be using heat, and we want a little extra around the outside. Does that make sense? Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to cut this out very quickly, but I'm leaving like 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit less. So it's not tons of hangover, but the idea is we don't want to put that iron, or the metal part of that iron, onto the rubber printing block, or it smells really, really, really bad. Does that make sense? We don't want that. I mean, it starts smoking, we burn it, it's the problem. So we got this, it's cut out, the extras we'll recycle, and what we're going to do here is we are going to line this up. And you're like, oh, it's not, I don't know how to line it. It's okay, calm down, we'll just flip it over. And the idea is you can line it up so it's mostly in there and so you have an edge. You can even slide it off the table and grab that so you can flip it over. And if it moves a little bit, it moves a little bit, that's okay. This is an iron. If you haven't had consumer science yet, this is an iron and it gets hot. Don't touch the metal part. It's an obvious thing, but safety-wise, here's what people forget. If you look at the edge of this, it's also part of the metal. So the edge gets hot. And the deal is you have to hold this paper for just a little bit. So you need to watch your fingers so you don't melt them. That would be a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start pushing this, and I'm rubbing the actual piece of paper, and what I'm doing is I'm heating up the ink to transfer it onto the printing block. Once it actually starts sticking a little bit, I can remove this hand, because you don't want to hit your fingers. But what you do have to worry about is this being too hot. I have them set around 2 or 3. If it is too hot, it will literally melt the printing block. And the idea is you can go all the way around and you can test. And so what you can actually do is you can pull part of it up, and you'll see some of it transferring, but not all of it. So I'm missing some part over here. So I want to go over to that part and push. What I can do is I can check the other corner, and that's not coming through. So I got to go over here. And what I do is I push. Not like all the way through the table push, but a little bit of push. You want some pressure there, but keep it moving. Don't just let it sit there. That seems like a bad idea. What might happen? Catch on fire, melt, all those situations. You can actually start to see the picture start showing up and coming through. And the idea here is that side showing. What I want to do is I'm not lifting the whole thing all at once. Otherwise, you will get a double print. So it's probably pretty good. When you set the iron down, don't set it down like this. Let's try not to burn the table. We set it like this. We need to be careful not to bump into it. But what I do is I peel this off. I know, right? And so this is a little warm, just to let you know, but you have your print on here. You need to keep this as well, because we will be transferring it to the other side. So we can do 2-color printing, carving the 2 different sides differently to create 2 different colors. Does that make sense? Yeah. Awesome. Good job.